Yesterday when I was walking along Terminal 21 doing a video, I met a professional scammer. Now why do I say professional and not just a regular scammer? Because this dude was on point. So I want to tell you guys this story, so it's a precautionary tale. Anytime when you run into people, hopefully you can spot them and avoid, run in the other direction if you don't want to lose your money or potentially your life. So what happened was, as I was eating at the mall after I make a video, a man was standing near me, not too close, but about a meter or two away, drinking a bottle of soda. Because I'm a YouTuber and I also love socializing with new people, I decided to have a small chat with him. And soon enough, he started to tell me that he was a fortune teller and he's here for vacation from Singapore. Without me asking any further question, he started telling me about my future. He told me certain features on my face tells him that certain things are in my future. But then he would hold some information so that I'm a little bit curious about it, and he goes on to another topic about people that like me or dislike me that now exist in my life. And again, he would hold information about who they are, but he said they exist right now. And then he proceeded to ask me to go to another location. So I asked him, this is a perfectly good location, why moving anywhere? But he kept insisting, and I said, it's not a big deal. He must have his reasons, so I follow him and we find a good quiet seat to sit down and talk. I find him very intriguing because he looked very professional for a person who is traveling. He's not in t-shirts, shorts, or flip-flops. He was actually very well dressed. Shirt tucked in, hair brushed back, and the way that he held himself, even though he wasn't a tall dude, but his demeanor exudes confidence. He stands with a really straight, tall, erect posture. The way he spoke as well, the words he used was very precise. So I said, this guy is interesting. I talked to a lot of people during my travels. Perhaps I can get to know him more and do an interview with him on like a podcast, so you guys can kind of see new people, interesting personalities around the world. So when we sat down, he started telling me more things about myself, about the people around me, asking me about my family and my job. He rips off a piece of paper from his notepad and gives it to me, just a blank piece of paper. He crunched it up, gave it to me, and told me to hold it in my hand and close my fist. Then he started asking me random personal questions. And he says, if I don't know you and you don't know me, but for some reason, if the information that you have told me appears on the paper in your hand, then perhaps that's fate, that you can trust me, that I'm a person of integrity. So I thought, okay, that's strange. Like, I'm questioning already that he gave me a blank piece of paper crunch up. How could there be information on it? And not just any information, the very things that I just told him. But I noticed he did a sleight of hand. He said, do you feel any back pain or headache? And I said, no, I have no headache, but back pain, sometimes I walk a lot, I have lower back pain. So he says, okay, give me this. So he slightly took the paper out of my hand and he said, take this piece of paper, crunch up like this, and rub it around your head, rub around your back, and instantly you'll feel better. Okay, now try it. And then he gives the piece of paper back to me. So I'm like, does this guy take me for a fool? Like, I know he's distracting me by telling me and asking me a question about back pains and such. But in the instant that he was demonstrating how to get rid of, alleviate the back pain, he took the piece of paper to show me an example how to do it, but he could have switched the paper. Now, I didn't see him switch it, but that's a very high possibility. And sure enough, when I opened that piece of paper, the paper that told me to trust him, which he says if the information is correct, that means that he is a trustworthy person. And I opened it and literally everything I told him was on that piece of paper that was supposed to be blank. So it's around the same size, it's also crunched up. And again, he did this so fast, I have no proof that he switched it. but there's no way the things I just told him a minute ago appeared on that paper. And the thing that gave it away was he showed me the example of how to get rid of back pain using that paper. So I thought that was very strange. The next thing he told me was he's part of a organization and they do donation, they help little kids. So if I like, I can pay him for his services. It won't go to him, but it will go to his organization, which helps children. So I thought that's weird as well, because what does helping children have to do with any of this? I thought you're a tourist in Bangkok and you want to get to know somebody and we're just talking, right? So I'm like, I'm not ready to do any donation. I just thought you're interesting. I want to find out more about you, vice versa. But maybe I'm not at this time. And he said, don't worry about money. You're a rich guy. You will be rich in the future. So you can donate me if you want 1,000. But if you're rich, you could donate 3,000. It's up to you. Are you poor or rich? So a regular person who does not believe in themselves would fall for this. They would go along his storyline. Oh, sir, it's all about fate. It's all about luck. You know, we meet each other. I tell you your fortune. It's a good thing. And the more you pay here, the more luck and good fortune you have in the future. And then he started bringing up religion stuff, about certain beliefs that people hold, about the future, just things that are very airy, you know, karma and doing good deeds and all this stuff. And I was like, whoa, okay, now tell me the definite answer that you're gonna tell me about the person who is envy about me, the name of the person who loves me that you said you know. Tell me this information. He's like, no, you have to pay me first. So I was like, okay, this guy is definitely a scammer. So I changed topic and I asked him, do you have any social media? Because you're a very well-spoken man, well put together. Do you have, Facebook or TikTok, YouTube, something like that you talk on? Because surely this guy will be a hit on social media. But he tells me that he dislikes doing social media and being in the face of millions. And I thought this was very strange as well. But then I realized it actually makes sense if this guy is a scammer. Because why would a scammer want to be known by millions of people online? Then how is he going to run his tricks anymore? People like me, who actually went through and paid the money and didn't get the answer they need, perhaps will bad talk about him, and that's it. His life will be ruined. So I'm curious, if I had paid him the 1,000 or 3,000 baht, what he's going to tell me about the names of the people who love, hate me, and envy me, all that stuff. But I bet you, if I had paid him, let's say 1,000 baht, he would have then withhold more information and get me more curious about certain things and ask me for more donation before he released that information. So I didn't do it. I didn't fall for the trick and keep paying him the money, but I knew that he has something else up his sleeve. Now, this all seemed to be an innocent scam. You guys are like, okay, you talk to a guy, he tried to ask you for some money. That doesn't sound very dangerous. So I didn't tell you the whole story. Here is the most scary part of the interaction. While I was talking to him, I start feeling a bit lightheaded. It's not like a dizzy feeling, but it's a feeling where you're exiting your mind. So I felt like he was trying to manipulate me, because usually I'm very focused. But this time, when I was talking to him and sitting in that chair, it wasn't that long. I can sometimes talk to people for over an hour, 2 hours, no issue. But with this guy, it was about 15-20 minutes or so, and I started feeling very lightheaded. And I had a water bottle with me too. So usually if I talk for a long time without drinking any water, then perhaps that can explain like the feeling of not being solid in my head. But I was well hydrated. I just ate a meal. There's no reason why I should feel like that. So at this point, I felt a little bit in danger. If I had continued to talk to him, I might actually be manipulated by this guy. So in certain countries, right, like Colombia, I heard the stories where they blow a dust in your face. Next thing you know, you go to the ATM machine and you take all your money, and this person will take it all. And sometimes, unfortunately, that person is found lifeless, lying on the street somewhere. But I'm not going to say that's going to happen here, but perhaps he can tell me to go back to my hotel room or go to an ATM machine after he manipulated me. Who knows? But I was literally over halfway there, and then I snapped back to reality. So what he was doing was he was using his pen and writing down information as he asked me, and I was following his writing. And he was asking me certain questions, and the voice that he used, it was very hypnotizing, for lack of a better word, because the tone that he used and the inflection up and down, I don't know what it is about his whole demeanor that allowed me to fall into a trance quite easily. And this is the first time this has ever happened to me. And I spoke to a lot of people, and many of them are strangers from all over the world. So I was like, dude, this is not good. If I speak to this guy for another 5 or 10 minutes like this, it's game over. And he spoke really quickly and very fluid. There was no pause, there was no mistakes. It was just like a perfect script, something that he did thousands of times before. And the way that he spoke like that is, I think, what put me in that trance. So quickly, I looked away from him. I took my focus off of the pen, the notepad, and his face. And I looked somewhere else and I changed the topic. Because you want to break that trance. You don't want to continue on the path they want you to go on. And another thing that saved me was all the BS he was telling me about, all the voodoo shit about the future and telling me all this stuff. I was skeptical. Yes, I was curious to see what this man has to know, what he has to share to me. But inside my head, I had a belief about the world, about myself, about my future. I'm gonna create my own future. I know who I am, and I don't even care about the person that is desiring me or envy me. How are they gonna change my life? Let's say I know who the person that envy me is, the person that is falling in love with me. What? I'm gonna go ask her to marry me? I don't know who she is. How do I know she's a good mother to my children? She's gonna be a good partner? She's gonna vibe with my frequency? None of that. So do I really care who loves me? You can say that girl loves me right now, and it doesn't even matter to me. You can tell me that guy envy me right now. What does it matter? My path is still gonna be my path. I know who I am. I'll continue doing what I do. I'm not gonna go confront the guy that is envious of me and then start a fight with him. What is that gonna do for me? Waste time. So I had a strong foundation, a solid belief on myself. Even though I'm open-minded to hear what he has to say, but I wasn't about to fall into his trap. But if people are naive, they can easily be led down the rabbit hole with him. And who knows where he's gonna lead them. And definitely it's not gonna be somewhere that is favorable for them. Because the way he was asking me for money, come on, it cannot end well. Because clearly, despite how professional, friendly he sounds, it's all about the money at the end of the day. So at that point, I broke his trap. I broke the frequency by taking my focus away and changing the topic, talking about something else. And then I made my exit saying that, you know what? My Airbnb is ready. My host is messaging me. I'm gonna go back and take a rest because I just landed in Bangkok, which I did just that this morning. And that's it. He tried to drag me back a few more times. He said, oh, don't worry, just sit down, it's fate that we met. And I told him, if it's fated, we'll meet again. So in life, this is a lesson from the story. Aside from the fact that you shouldn't trust just anyone out here, because a city this big will draw many people from all over the world, all over the country, and you don't know what type of people they are and what kind of intention they have. But the other lesson to be learned is you need to know who you are. You need to have a solid foundation of values that you believe in. So that when people start telling you bullshit about this and that, you'll be like, okay, cool. I'll listen to you. Maybe I can learn something from you. But I have my own belief, thank you. Because you never know. Some people will surprise you. They'll teach you something new and something cool. But for the most part, very wise people don't just exist randomly in a shopping mall in Bangkok. But it's not 100%. So I'm gonna give them a chance. Maybe he would be that 1%. Maybe he studied with some Buddhist monk and came down from the mountain. I can learn something from them. But at the very least, I learned his demeanor. I learned the way he spoke, the way he moved, which made him seem very confident, friendly, and approachable, because I did speak to him first. But the key thing is, once you know your values, once you know your beliefs, then no matter what people say, it won't be able to sway you. And then you can avoid many traps, because that, my thinking, that is what saved me in that interaction, and potentially a very sticky spot for me if I had continued speaking with the guy. Alright guys, thank you so much for following the video, and let me know if anything like this has happened to you or someone you know before. But that was really some shady stuff. My first day in Bangkok, and already an interesting story. So subscribe to the channel, like this video, and there will be many more interesting videos to come and some very important life lessons. Thanks so much. Peace out. I'll see you guys on the next one.